Okay, so take two. Milo. And and begin. Hi, everybody out in podcast land and on American Hammers TV. We are the Columbus E13. Hi, Marc.
Hey, Kevy. Good to be back.
Good to see you, sir. Marc has been in LA for the past week and missed our game on Monday, and you missed the Man City game too.
No, I made the Man City game.
Oh, did you?
It was, but it was one to forget.
A terrible, distant memory.
There was. I was staying in downtown LA, rode like...
Oh, that's right. You saw it with the LA Hammers.
I rode like 45 minutes to North Hollywood over by Universal Studios. We saw, I've already blocked that game from my memory. And, that was an afternoon in LA for me.
But did you get to meet the guys out there?
Yeah. Said hi. Yeah. So,
getting some stickers and pins and stuff. Sweet.
Said hi. Yeah.
Marc, will you please stop barking?
It's the mystery guest.
So we have a very, very special guest on today's broadcast. And through the magic and awesome technology of Apple computers and a bunch of extra DJ crap that I have laying around, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce all of you to Mr. Tom Smalley.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Tom.
Hey.
How are we doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I apologize for the dog in advance.
No.
I feel like that's going to be a running theme.
He's good. So I've met Tom. Tom has a tour, an experience on AirBNB called the West Ham Experience. And I took Tom's tour on the day after my birthday on December 28th for the day that Manuel Pellegrini got fired.
Hell yeah.
And it was my first game ever at London Stadium, and it was an incredibly fun day, and 1,000% worth it if anybody ever wants to go and see a game the real West Ham way, at least the new real West Ham way of what we have of it now. In any case, Tom does a great job. I want him to talk a little bit more about the tour and stuff and the experience that he brings to the table, because I'm sure that a lot of people that we know on the state side could benefit from going and seeing him and taking in a game through his tour.
Yeah, so like the idea of it was to begin with, like I was just meeting people from all over the world, mainly America, because my sister lives in New York. Who were going to the London Stadium, and that was their entire football experience, was like getting off at Stratford Station, walking through the shopping centre, going to the game, and then like going back to their hotel. And I would sort of ask them like what they thought, and they never said a bad word, but I never felt that they had a truly like good time.
Not the real. They didn't get the real thing.
Yeah, and for me, like, if you're going to go and watch West Ham, like, you need to find small victories in your day. And yeah, like the idea of just turning up and going home, like to me, it's not right. So I wanted to make it like this whole, like give people like a full day, like what my friends have been doing for like the past X amount of years. And it's really taken off. It's been great fun. Like the whole day, we start early, no matter what time kickoff is. Like we got called with your game. We had the late kickoff, yet we still met dead early. Just giving us more time, spending bars and like around Upton Park, which was really cool.
Super fun.
But yeah, I want to show people what West Ham really means, and not the corporate part that that the media shows it as now.
Yeah.
Right. Well, speaking as a person, I mean, like I saw old games at Upton Park. I feel very, very fortunate to have been able to have that experience at all, especially after the day that I spent with you. But I got to say, the fact that you took us all through the old neighborhood, where the old park was, and like, I mean, even on that day, I saw stuff that I'd never seen before. So for me, like every experience going to a game was between the tube stop and the stadium. Right. Yeah. I never went past it. So, I mean, it was always too crowded, you know what I mean? Yeah. Getting up and down the street. We stopped at the food places and pie and mash places and all the stands that used to be up and down Green Street there. But I never made it down to the Boleyn before or down to the statue. So
it's one of the cool things. Like originally, like when I set it up, it really like I remember speaking to you the first time. Like it wasn't aimed at West Ham fans.
Right.
I was like sort of aiming it at Premier League fans, like those people that just wanted to go to a game. With the intention of like, if I can get them to buy into something, if I can show them like why it means so much to people, like, you know, that they would end up leaving the day perhaps with like a little bit of an emotional attachment to West Ham.
Sure.
Rather than just, you know, saying they've seen the Premier League game for the sake of ticking it off the bucket list. And that, it fascinates me when I meet West Ham fans that want to come like spend the day with me and you know, share some beers, and you know, I get to show them all of my memories from like, you know, what we were there 24 years. I think I went to that stadium. 23 years I was going to that stadium.
Right.
And you know, I want to show people why that's still my favorite part of London.
And I think you did a great job. Be honest with you. What really weighed into it for me? We might have lost him there. Come back, Tom. Where are you? You might have to reconnect. Hold on. Well, what I was going to say while he is reconnecting is that, you know, what weighed heavily into it for me, because I mean, I knew I was going to be there over Christmas time and I wanted to go to a game, which I had not gone to at London Stadium yet. And I could have just bought tickets from a ticket broker and just kind of gone from there. But what I was looking for when I started talking to him, like through the Airbnb app, because it's an Airbnb experience.
Oh yeah.
I could tell that the basis of what his whole experience was about was just that, you know, he was just looking for some cool people to drink with during the game.
Right. He wasn't necessarily interested in winning converts.
Hold on a second. 2 secs. Our fuse just blew. All right. So we're gonna pause here for just a second and wait for the man to come back. But in the meantime, I was like, I even told him that, you know, like I could tell like from the way he was talking and stuff and, you know, asking whether or not I was already a fan and whether or not I'd already been to Upton Park. And that I even told him, I go, you're just looking for somebody to go drinking with. So that truth is that kind of sold me, you know what I mean? So
if we're selling, I guess we're going to sell this experience real quick as Tom tries to get back on.
Okay.
How much did you pay for the entire day? I mean, I know it's like an all-inclusive trip.
It was an all-inclusive thing, and I want him to talk more about exactly what it included. But it included basically our tube passes and stuff, and to get us around town.
Yeah.
Heather and I were in Edinburgh already, so it obviously didn't include my plane trip, you know, first thing in the morning to get down to London. But as soon as we met him over at Tower Hill, and the whole rest of the group, because it took us so long, we were late, and it included getting us around, going over to the East End, walking us up and down Green Street to show us, you know, where the ground was, the old restaurants, the pie and mash places. It was a lot of this is what used to be here. Truth is, it was a little bit emotional for me. And, you know, I didn't even live there, but I've been to enough games there that when I came out of the tube stop, you know, I would look down to the street to the right, to see where the queues used to be, going back and forth. Like when people left the game, they had to like queue up and down the street, and there was just, nothing there that day. Okay. It looks like he might be back. Hold on 1 second.
Hey.
Oh. Hey, there he is.
Yeah, the laptop, this is my problem with technology. I've just blown a fuse, so I've had to move room and everything because the laptop would not come back on in the other room. So
I'm just super sad that we've lost that wallpaper behind you, which is absolutely gorgeous.
Well, we appreciate the improv DIY.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I just like run around the house for like a mad 30 seconds.
So
screaming at everything.
While we were waiting for you to reconnect, I was kind of like, Marc had asked me a question about, approximately what the tour costs, and like what it included. And I wanted you to kind of like go over.
I mean, it sounds
that.
really all inclusive. It sounds great, but I'm like,
yeah,
for me, it was never gone. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah, it's so hard to price up and get the pricing right for it. So I mean, at the minute, I think it's advertised at £135 or £140.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure what the conversion is there, but that is like everything. So that is from like, obviously the guided tour, you get all your drinks chucked in, program, the match ticket. I tried to just throw everything in for one price,
Right.
which is, I mean, I've had like mixed reviews. Obviously, Airbnb take a rather large slice of the money for like hosting the site. But like that's the advantage of having it on Airbnb. You reach like hundreds of people, like the page gets hundreds of views every single week. And now with like I've sort of started doing a separate price where I'm not including everything. So I'll just sort of do the ticket, and the obviously the tour itself. And then people can spend whatever money they want during the day. I mean, I haven't actually put that online yet because I'm still arguing about the price, but I think that's going to be around £100.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, the thing with the throwing everything in and doing it all inclusive is obviously like, so I don't know if you know, the Boleyn's currently shut for refurbishment. So we don't get to go in there. And like every tour I do, like kind of ends up different to the last because we end up in different pubs depending how busy places are. Sometimes it's harder to get people to drinks, and it's a part of it would be a lot less stressful for me if I didn't have to worry about that side of it and people could just spend their money willy-nilly. And I like being less stressed.
You can spend your money willy-nilly anyway.
You can. I just feel like,
but it's fun
when I sort of advertise it's all inclusive. I like to,
right,
and it's fun to have somebody in the know.
And it really is. He really takes care of everybody, and people are getting saucy on his tour. It's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, originally the whole idea of it was I genuinely just wanted it to be a pub crawl. And like we'll just do all the West Ham pubs and see what state we end up in at the game.
Right.
But Airbnb weren't too keen on that idea. I don't know why.
Wild.
Yeah.
Jeez, I wonder.
So I made it slightly more professional.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's how you're promoting it here on the show. Obviously, it's a rated X
next thing you'll know, you'll be wearing one of those backpack signs with like the Experience logo above your head, so everybody can follow you around.
I'm looking forward to like this Saturday. So obviously with the protest and stuff. So this is, I think it's obviously including yourselves and Heather. I had one other group of West Ham fans. So this is now, it's going to be my third group where I've got West Ham fans on the tour.
Oh.
I had to like really approach the situation with them quite gently about how their opinions are with the board and whether they wanted to do what was advertised or whether they wanted to, just trust me and just get involved in the day. And
are you going to take them to the march?
Yeah, man, they were all for it.
Cool.
So then there's one other guy, this a lad from California booked on as just a Premier League fan. Come here, mate. And I sort of told him all about the goings-ons at the club. Sorry, 2 seconds. Let's get your ball.
Bring him on. Bring him on.
He wants to play, man. Yeah, about going on to the club, and he was like really enthusiastic to get involved in like those march and protests too. So yeah, that's worked out really well for me. I get to promote my own feelings and give people something slightly different to the usual.
That's really cool. I mean, the thing is, like, when I took the tour, and I've told this story once or twice on the show since I got back from the Christmas break. When we got down to the Boleyn, and you were kind of like giving the group like, truth is, I missed your speech altogether when we were actually down there in front of the statue, because this guy walking his dog came up and was kind of blowing us up about the fact that, you know, like, you guys shouldn't even give them any fucking money, and not you. Like, he was talking about like the board, like you shouldn't, like that he only goes to away games name, right? You're part of the problem and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, I understood to a degree. At that point, the only thing I never really got was like people that want the board out. Yeah. I still don't quite see the light on how to get them to sell, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or like, I mean, these are just multi-gazillionaires that they're not going to sell their club. That just didn't make any sense. The dog's attacking.
The dog is attacking. I'm like, trying to get him to sell.
So anyway, the only reason I brought him up was because at the time, Heather and I stopped to talk to him, you know, and he wanted to like address the whole group, but you were giving your spiel, and in one way I was kind of trying to help protect the group, but then you didn't really say, even after we went across the street to the Boleyn and we're having drinks over there, like, you didn't say anything about it. So I didn't know whether or not like you were sympathetic to what was going on there, or
I mean, but guys like that. So like, trying to put into context, this guy, like, he really came at the group, didn't he? Like, he did. We're a part of the problem. Like, if you can continue to go, you're part of the problem. Blah blah blah. And I just can't. As I've said to you, I can't buy into that thought process that if you continue to go, you're part of the problem. Based on the theory that, like, I bought my season ticket last May last season. They've had my money. Like, sure. You know, like, I spend very little in the stadium anyway. So me either going to the game or not going to the game is of no financial gain to them or loss to them whatsoever. They've had my money.
Right.
And you know, as when you're not there, I suppose you're not supporting the team. And there's this whole thing at the minute about, you know, a lot of the media are saying, get behind the team, like, you know, protesting that, wait till the summer. But like, them things aren't mutually exclusive. Like, you can still be against the board and support the team. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that guy in particular kind of like didn't really get under my skin. I just think people like that are going about things the wrong way. You know, like, you're never going to win any fans over, like, win people over to your way of thinking by speaking to them like that. And I just, fair play to him. Like, you know, I liked that he came out and he sort of had his opinions. A lot of his opinions were the same as mine, bar the fact that I just don't agree with the "if you go, you're part of the problem" argument.
Sure. No, I got it. So before we move on to the next stuff, I just kind of wanted to give you a chance to kind of like unfold the rest of the book of like everything that we did on the tour, because I mean, I had the greatest time ever, and I've just been, you know, talking you up since I got back here. So
I still owe you commission for that, but yeah.
Here's your platform, buddy. Tell them what they get.
I mean, it's basically a whole day of West Ham. Like, from minute zero, we are fully involved in West Ham. We will go take a train from wherever we meet straight to Upton Park. We take a walk down Green Street. I'll tell a load of stories. Like, I mean, I hope people don't get bored of my voice, but I tell a load of stories of like my experiences and my history of like that area. We walk all the way up past where the stadium was, where the John Lyle gates were, past the church, and right up to like the Barking Road where the statue is.
Right.
Spend some time around the statue and the old Boleyn pub. We check out some of the really cool graffiti that's around there. The whole like "Long Live the Boleyn" tag. That's like my favourite part of the day.
Right.
The dog has like just dragged the bed in with the other dog on it, which is amazing to see. So there's going to be 2 lots of barking in a minute. Yeah, so then we spend like, you know, we walk pretty much the whole way around all 4 sides of where the stadium would be, like the Bobby Moore end, the Chicken Run, and the Trevor Brook in Lower, which was where my seat was for the last 6 or 7 years there. Before we sort of start hitting some of the pubs. I mean, you know, we hit pubs in Plaistow. You know, it's a shame that the Boleyn is now under refurb, because that is by far my favourite pub to go in. Like, it's such a beautiful building.
Gorgeous.
But yeah, we go to the Vic. We'll hit the Vic up, and then head on to Stratford from there and try and get 1 or 2 of the pubs in Stratford, ended in the Carpenter's Arms, which obviously everyone knows about. And, you know, I mean, people can find all these places out by themselves. I just think it's really fun to do it as a group. And, you know, like, as you see, like, you know, I kind of just chuck everyone in with my mates, and, you know, everyone gets to meet all the boys, and, you know, you're around genuine like West Ham fans, and, you know, interacting, and it's just I love it. It's a great way of meeting new people and like showing them the best part of West Ham, which is, well, it's the fans. And like, you know, if you're surrounded by good people, you definitely have a good day. And I've been really lucky with it that like every group I've had have been pretty awesome.
So let me ask you one question, because like you did say that you like chuck us in with your mates, which you totally did. Like we were like in the Bobby Moore Lower with a bunch of guys. I can't think of a better place to have been able to sit at that game.
Yeah.
I had a blast with it. Something weird happened that particular day, and that was if you remember, Fornal scored to level.
Yeah.
And
it was really dead.
There was no singing. No singing on a goal.
Yeah.
At the West Ham home
ground. I remember you saying at the time how strange.
And I was
like, I found
not even the guys around us. Like,
I mean, that game in particular was arguably the low point of the season. You know, like even myself, like we had had so many games in such a short space of time, where nothing was like going well. We were throwing leads away. Admittedly, nothing's changed.
Oh, yeah.
And I think everyone was just so sick to death of like the Pellegrini sacking just dragging its toes. And I think like I can't remember whether someone said it at the game or someone said it after the game. But at that point, like at that equaliser, like it's almost as if like, oh, you know, like Pellegrini's got another reprise here. We're stuck with like, you know, it's going to be another 3 weeks before we make a decision. You know, it was almost like scoring was a bad thing for us to do at the time.
Yeah, I felt that back in the States at the time too. It's like, fuck this. Like, we're going to get more of the same bullshit for a month. Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, you know, what's followed that hasn't got any better, but I would definitely say that was like probably not my least favourite game of the season. There have been worse. But like when I felt personally like lowest about what was happening on the pitch, because what happened on the pitch is just hideous at the minute. I mean, last night was great, and you know, the first time I've seen us offer something that would suggest we can stay up.
Right.
We'll see what happens Saturday.
Yeah.
So you're saying that like even like a couple days later, the first game that Moyes had taken back over against Bournemouth, right? That was
4-1. Yeah.
So you're saying the atmosphere was much better that day?
I think it was. I think the atmosphere was better that day. Obviously, it helped that we absolutely destroyed Bournemouth. That was probably the worst. Like from Bournemouth's point of view, they're probably the worst team performance I've seen at that stadium. And it was nice to see us actually punish a team that were playing that poorly. So yeah, it was definitely better. I think like a couple of the boys, like Ash, like Northern Ash, went up to Liverpool last night. He said the atmosphere in that away end was rocking.
It looked like it was.
We really need to take that forward into Saturday. Like, you know, when that stadium gets loud, it gets loud.
Sure.
It's just that there's this season, especially, there's been so little on the pitch.
There's nothing to cheer about. Yeah, it's been that way arguably since they've moved there.
Yeah, it's tough. Like you have little highlights. You know, beating Chelsea in the cup there, beating Tottenham on the Friday night. There's been some good stuff there, but the majority of it, as I say, it's been pretty sour.
Right before,
I think for a lot of people as well, like this is one thing that makes me really like, and this is where my whole feeling toward the boards stem from, is for a lot of people going to that stadium is now a chore, and it's only been 3 seasons. Like, you know, you have 96 years left of that, and you know, that's you know, I think that makes it kind of, the atmosphere kind of hard, especially when there's nothing to shout about on the pitch.
So you're going to the protest Saturday.
Yeah.
And you know, they've had some other, like they had the static protest before Brighton. They had the balloons on Monday. But Hammers United is a relatively new group. Is that right?
I would say so.
Because like I think we've read stuff. You know, there's Hammers United. There's the West Ham Independent Supporters Association.
Yeah.
There's the much maligned Official Supporters Board. Could you, like, are you able to explain sort of like how all of this works a moment?
That'd be great.
I mean, I can try. So I know, so, you know, the Official Supporters Board. Am I allowed to swear?
Sure.
Fuck those guys. Fuck everything about them. Like, you know, they've been handpicked. It's just they're an embarrassment.
Like who's in? Like who's in?
It's like
that?
Sean Whetstone's in there. There's a couple other.
Yeah, I mean that name alone, like, you know, it just sets the tone, doesn't it? But I mean, what sad thing? I know a girl that's on that board, that's on that Official Supporters Board, who, you know, we no longer talk. She blocked me on all forms of social media because of my views towards the Official Supporters Board.
Wow.
You know, like whatever. They're very defensive of it, but you know, like, so we have this Football Supporters Federation here, which it's so hard to describe. They're almost like aligned with like government policy sort of thing. So every other club in the Premier League has a Football Supporters Federation approved like supporters club. So like Liverpool have like the Spirit of Shankly.
Right.
You know, I can't remember any off the top of my head, but every other club bar West Ham have a approved supporters fan club or supporters board. Whereas we don't, and the only reason that is the Official Supporters Board doesn't qualify is because it's not democratically selected. They were just hand picks. So therefore, you have all these other small groups. I mean, admittedly, loads of them have grown, but like I say, you've got Hammers United, you've got the Independent Supporters Club, you've got Crossed Hammers. There's loads out there now that are all, well, up until originally the Real West Ham Fans Action Group, which I don't want to give any time to, and now Hammers United, they've all been factioned, whereas it started recently to all come together, and like fair play to like Bubbles, Paul Colburn, Andrew Bryan, and all those other guys on the committee of Hammers United have done an incredible job. They have been so patient and so well managed, and you know, like they've not broke under any pressure. Like, you know, a lot of people I know have been telling them to go hard, like, you know, got to be more aggressive, got to go harder, and they've been so sensible in the way they've managed themselves and condoned themselves, which is why they've managed to get so far. With the media attention and, you know, just growing. Like, I really, really hope there's 10,000 people there Saturday. I think that might be a push, but I certainly think that'd be a great show of strength if there is. And you know, if anyone this side of the pond listens to this before Saturday, like, please get down there.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of deja vu. Like especially for us who are just kind of watching from afar, it's like,
sure,
you know, we have these protests. We had people mad like 2 years ago, but this was not in place at the time. Do you think Hammers United wasn't really in?
No, Hammers United wasn't, was it? No.
Right. Do you think? Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know when they formed. I think they've been about over a year or so now. But like where they've done it correctly and slowly built it up. like they've definitely gone about things the right way, like without any shadow of a doubt. And it's so nice to see something like so well organised when it comes to West Ham fans.
Do you think that's been a big difference this time around compared to, say, 2018 or?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Gotcha.
So, like, obviously, what happened at Burnley was the culmination of the protests being cancelled for whatever reasons at the time. Lots of rumours. Who knows what actually happened? But I think if the fans had the chance to march and to have their say in before that game, I don't think that would have happened, even at 2-0 down, at 3-0 down. So I think the fact that it's now all being organised away from the stadium. Their message is that, like, the moment the game kicks off, you support the team.
Right.
I think it's so much better that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a pretty long march. When I saw the map, I was like, man, people are going to be tired.
Yeah. I'm packing some street beers for the road.
Nice. Not a bad idea. I'm banking on there's going to be this will be an NBC Sports Gold game for us, you know what I mean? So we won't get like that pregame, except for the fact that it might be on PL Today beforehand.
Oh, yeah. Like we might get some clips of it, like that 10 minutes leading up to the match.
I mean, last night it starts early, so like you'd like to hope there'd be quite a lot. I mean, there'll be loads on social media. You can follow before as well. I mean, we're aiming to be in Plaistow for like 11:30 in the morning. The march sets off from Plaistow at like 12:15.
Right.
And yeah, they're aiming to be at the stadium for sort of 1:30. So yeah, it's a good hour and 15 minutes, stopping at a few places on the way to pick more and more people up.
More and more beers.
More and more beers, yeah. Hopefully more and more people.
And so what kind of statement are you trying to make with this march?
So obviously, like I'm not on the committee of Hammers United.
Sure.
So it's not like my message from
right. You're not doing that, but
I think my understanding now is that those guys have gone beyond trying to have any communication with the board. It is simply now just trying to drive them out. I think the main way that I get what Kevin said earlier is how that they are effectively billionaires, or one of them is. It's their money, it's their club. How do you get them out? But the one thing everyone is aware of is like Sullivan absolutely loves himself and loves his image. And if you can attack that and start getting, the media here have started to turn against them, they hate it. And they don't like it at all. And I think the more and more that happens, I think the more chance they've got of him stepping back.
Yeah.
There's lots of talk of the American guy.
The guy that just gave him a loan. I can't remember his name. Tom something. Yeah, I
can't remember his name, but yeah, there's talk of there's rumors here that he's looking to become a majority shareholder. So fingers crossed, there's some legs in that. But there is always the danger of it is better the devil you know. Whoever does come in, it could go pear-shaped. But I think we've all got to the point now where anything's better than what we've got at the minute. Like there's just so many things wrong with the way the club's being run at the minute. So yeah, that's, trying something's better than doing nothing.
Any fear that Red Bull might come in there and then change basically the entire, not just not all the things that have already been changed, but change the badge.
Red Bull London.
Oh my God, it'd be terrible.
I mean, personally, I don't think that would happen if they were to do it. I don't think Red Bull would be the team to take it, the company to take it over. But do I fear that? No, I don't. And a small part of me is on the wavelength of, like you say, so much has changed already. It'd be crap, but what else am I going to do on a Saturday?
I just see what they've done with the New York Red Bulls here in the MLS in Salzburg, and it's basically your badge automatically becomes the Red Bull logo.
Yeah. I think there'd be. I think if it was Red Bull to come in, I think that would be a bit of a PR own goal by them because, with no offence to Salzburg or Leipzig or even New York, as much as West Ham aren't a big club, I feel they're a bigger club than any of those. Especially with the Premier League appeal, like the worldwide appeal of the league, I just think that it'd be a huge own goal for them to come in and do that.
Right.
I also think the FA might get final say over it as well, because I know Hull City recently changed their names Hull City Tigers, and it wasn't allowed. Like, it was blocked by the FA. So I'd like to.
That.
It happened with Cardiff too. Like, they changed their colors for one season. They had to go back. Yeah.
So I'd like to think that if it was Red Bull, that wouldn't.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could already picture like West Ham United RB, or like some.
I think it would be more like, I can definitely see the Red Bull Stadium.
Oh yeah,
sure.
I can't. I mean, personally, I don't see any changes to the name or badge. Fingers crossed. But all them rumours have seemed to have died down recently as well. Anyway, so
right.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, the absolute cynic and conspiracy theorist in me believes that a lot of that is all comes out of Sullivan's, all leaked from somewhere. There's no smoke without fires, and I just think like the way some stuff is reported by by Sean Whetstone and other stuff, you just think like, well, we'll take that with a pinch of salt.
And then there was supposed to be the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia.
Newcastle.
Looking at Newcastle and us,
So, like, regardless of how you've made clear how you feel, but do you think the board as it is now is too entrenched?
How do you mean? Sorry.
Like, I mean, like you said, like, I think we're on your side here that doing something is better than just sitting here and taking the piss that we're doing right now. But like, I mean, I think we would like to see some sort of change happen. But do you think
it can happen?
Yeah.
No, I think their roots are dug in pretty deep. I think David Sullivan already talks about the club like being like some sort of family heirloom that his kids are now owed. Which I hate that so much. I've got nothing against the Sullivan kids. I think Jack, the lad that's doing the ladies, he's trying to give it a good go.
Is this reality show any good?
I've not watched it, mate. I have no interest in giving him any of my attention. I don't have anything against him.
He's no Billy and Mick, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, that they're definitely in it for the long run at the minute, which is why the pressure has to start somewhere.
Yeah,
right.
Understood.
I mean, I think the first part would be if we can get rid of Karen Brady, that'd be a great start. And then we go from there.
There were some stories a couple weeks ago where it seemed like maybe she was falling out of favor, but then somehow has something on the other two.
It's just
like some going to be able to keep her job. What was that?
I think you're talking about Jacob Steinberg, right, in the Guardian, where it was like even the club has asked her to give up her Sun column.
Right. Really?
Like, no, she's not. Like, yeah, I think there is some sort of tension between her and Sullivan.
I know there was well, I say I know there was big rumors that when the American guy, I wish I could remember his name now, when he invested, he would have gone straight away. And Sullivan apparently said no, like she's a part of the furniture, so to speak. But like the column she writes in the Sun is like one of the many issues that everyone has with the way the club's run at the minute. Like, she's writing stuff like she was saying she wants Tottenham to win the league. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah. She's openly cheering for Harry Kane in columns. How the fuck do you do this?
Yeah, it's
so dumb. And it's the Sun as well. Like, they're hardly a great advert for the club to be in line with.
Not at all.
I mean, is the Sun kind of like the National Enquirer? Is it total rag?
It's owned by
toilet roll, mate.
It's a Murdoch Papers.
Oh, yeah. Is it really? Yeah. Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's Fox News in print.
One of the funniest things was one of the very first times I was ever in London, I went to go grab like a paper, because I used to still read papers, and it was like I noticed on the tube at like evening rush hour, they were giving out the papers sometimes for free. I think it was the Standard or something.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, what is this? And every single paper looked like a tabloid. Like none of them like looked like the New York Times or, like it was just like black and white. Everything had giant picture on the front.
Yeah,
just like, these are like the newspaper You know what I mean? The real paper. So like I could barely tell one from the other, like one that has credibility and one who does not.
Oh yeah. No, they all look the same to me. Yeah.
British press has no credibility.
So the march this Saturday. So you do have a group going with and meeting up early and taking place from stem to stern for the whole thing.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So we'll do the norm. So I'm going to aim to meet them sort of 9:30ish in the morning. Get over to Upton Park. We'll spend the hour and a half, sort of 2 hours over there. Grab some beers from one of the off licenses around there.
Yep.
Do our normal bit. Then we're gonna head down to Plasto for the meet. And the guys I've spoken to, I mean, Chad and his wife Megan from there, from Seattle, they're West Ham fans, and they were just all for it. Like they went up to Liverpool last night as well, actually, like what as part of their trip.
It's awesome.
They were all for it, and we're gonna get involved, and all of my boys are there early.
I mean, that's like a big part of, like, for me, that's a big part of why we hung with you that day, because you feel like you're going to get an authentic slice of the club, whether it's your stories about how things used to be, or taking us around to the pubs so that we can see what's going on now, to kind of like embracing to the best way that you can, while still giving a nod to the way things should be.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the way things are now, because like anybody could go buy tickets from a ticket broker. And truth is, I thought the price of your tour was totally reasonable, because I have bought ticket broker tickets for West Ham games before. We bought tickets. We were trying to go to see one last game at the Boleyn. I think I told you before, we had tickets for March 12th, the last season at the Boleyn. It was supposed to be against Watford, but West Ham was doing okay in the FA Cup, and they had to reschedule that game because they had to play Manchester United on the 13th. So we missed our opportunity to see that last game, but I got those tickets from a ticket broker, and from the same ticket broker, the game the next Saturday at Chelsea was my very first West Ham away game at Stamford Bridge, which was unfucking believable to be in a West Ham away end. I was just blown the fuck away. But those tickets, man, were way more than I paid for your tour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and when cause I remember, like, as I was asking you, like when I was trying to figure out, should we do this tour?
Yeah.
How much is it? And you were like, well, some things weigh into it, how hard it is to get tickets. And, because there's so many different factors and all this kind of stuff. So, but then when you came out with the price, I was like, done. Let me get it paid. You know what I mean? So,
but I mean, that's the Airbnb advantage. I mean,
I think I was bugging you to pay for it.
Yeah. I mean, the price is pretty much down now. At the start of the season, 'cause this is the first year I've done it through Airbnb. Previously I've taken like friends of friends, like from the States, round doing that sort of thing. Just to show them like the old stuff. But doing it through Airbnb has been it's been really handy, especially with like the organising it and like the money side of it. Because I remember saying to you, like, the reason do it through Airbnb, everyone gets covered.
Right.
I can't go on like an all-night bender the night before and not show up. So, it keeps everyone safe and keeps me honest.
I don't think for 1 minute you would do them like that.
Yeah, I've done a couple like that. Oh my God. New Year's Day was a struggle.
Nice.
I feel like I was really, really fortunate. The day that you took us around, the Memorial Garden was still there. And I know we stopped and had a talk in there, and that was kind of an amazing sight to me, even though it broke my heart to see the fences there and, not see the gates. By the way, the last time that I was at the Boleyn was that March 12th day that we were supposed to play Watford that day.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have the game, we went over there anyway and told our sob story at the ticket office, and all the stadium tours were sold out for the rest of the year, and they let us on anyway. It was actually the last day that the gates were at the Boleyn Ground. They took them they took them the next day and put them in the stadium store at the new place. And then like the day I was with you, the Memorial Garden was still there. And from what I understand, that's been shut down now.
Yeah, temporarily. I think for like a couple of years they've shut it now. I had a group with us like the day they shut it. And you know, they done a bit of a service over there. And we happened to be there sort of at the either right or wrong time, depending, like during the service. And I had Ash came with me. I was like, you know, just come around, took some pictures and stuff. And there were all the families there, and like they started singing Bubbles, and like me and Ash were like just like tear rolling down our eye, like
sure.
Oh man, like it was kind of horrible, like you know, like how like emotional that moment was. And yeah, that's it. Like, you know, I believe they're. I don't even fully understand what they've actually done with the Memorial Garden, but I know it's not gonna be there for a few. Or they're changing it or doing something. That's.
I mean, dude, look, if you haven't seen it, and I don't have any kin, you know, whose ashes are spreaded there, but to see the Memorial Garden and to see that people were still putting fresh flowers there, still like adorning the place, and like the tree that's inside of it had a West Ham bar scarf, just a claret and blue scarf that looked like it had been hanging there for 15 years outside. Like it looked like it had 15 years of winter weather wear on the thing. Like it just, aren't there people like buried there, or like at least like their memorials are actually
there's a lot of like memorials and ashes and
sure
else. And yeah, I remember reading like an article literally the day before they were closing it about what they were doing. And yeah, I can't agree with disturbing, like, you know, I'm not religious in any way, shape or form, but the idea of disturbing someone's resting place I find very weird.
But still, they were supposed to move it somehow to the new stadium. Is that correct?
I don't think it's gone to the new stadium. I think at the minute it's in, I don't want to say storage, but it's in some sort of unit ready to go back. So I think they've taken it out as like one piece, so it can go back in as one. But yeah, this is very odd.
I mean, it's sacred ground.
Yeah, it's very odd.
Straight up. So
yeah, I don't know anyone that had anyone there, so to speak. So I don't know how people feel about it all, but yeah, it's a shame because I mean it's just another part of like that walk, and like when you're around that area that you now don't get to experience. And like you said, like it is touching just seeing it, even if you have no one there.
Sure,
like, the place it has a really incredible like feel about it.
Right.
And yeah, it's sad, like, you know, the whole place becoming more and more gentrified. The Boleyn, I'm sure the Boleyn will still be beautiful, but I don't know. You know, I don't know how it's going to reopen. Whether it's going to be some sort of fancy restaurant, pub, or, you know, we'll see. Because you know, no one seems to know. But yeah, losing that as well. Like the working man's clubs recently gone too, become flats. It's, you know, it's a shame because like you're slowly losing bit by bit of that area. And yeah, I mean that's I like people to see it now and try and show them like how special it was and how special it still is. Like there's still so many memories there.
Yeah, I think you're doing an awesome thing, man. Honest to God, I had a great time on it, and I can't more highly recommend it to anybody else that would even think about it.
Cheers, I appreciate that. It's great fun. Like, you know, I've loved meeting every single person from it. Like, you know, we speak on a almost like weekly basis now.
Sure,
it's the same with a lot of other people that I've had there. The worst ones being perhaps the people that were football fans, and now the ones that I managed to get to leave with a bit of West Ham as part of them. Like, you know, they'll text me on like a weekly basis, like, oh man, like another tough result, and you're like, yeah, cheers. Like, like 10 messages come through at the same time, and you're just like, oh god, what have I done? Like, just installed misery on other people.
I mean, I love getting those texts from you. Like, we text back and forth almost every game now.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their in-game texting buddy.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about one more thing before we actually wrap it up with how we played against Liverpool last night. because when I got back here after my trip from the Christmas period and stuff, and then we stayed in touch. You ended up hitting me up asking me whether or not because I had mentioned that I did graphic design and owned a printing company. And all of a sudden, I got a little bit better understanding of where your sentiment actually lied with the guy that came up with the dog who was talking to us at the statue.
Yeah.
And you kind of like got me in as a little bit of a secret hired gun to help with some design aspects of some of the things going on. So I was wondering if you want to talk about that a little bit, or
absolutely. So, purely like me and the boys were sort of chatting about like getting flags and stuff done for the protests, and like just generally having them for away games and such, and stickers and stuff. And purely just through your background, like one of the boys came up with the idea of having the Olympic Stadium with like a big top circus tent on. With the famous phrase of like being run like a circus,
right?
The old Mark Noble quote, bless his soul. I'm sure he didn't intend it to end up being used in the way we're using it. But I hit you up, and I mean, if you can give me 30 seconds, I'll go grab some of the outcomes, because I'm not sure actually like many people know that you're the original designer of that. Like when it got posted on all the social media pages, like people tried tagging you and stuff, and you never seem to quite get the credit that was maybe deserved there. So
I was just kind of pleasantly surprised one day when I opened up my Instagram, and I saw what I think was the secondary image, the full color one with the actual full color big top, and I was like, oh man, because truth is,
it took off.
I didn't know how publicly you were putting yourself out there as the guy who kind of helped get that done, and I didn't know, because look, the club is coming after people who are dissension in the ranks. You know what I mean? I mean, you said you know Cameron Robson.
Yeah.
And even though he looked like he had a great time at fight night in Vegas,
man, I'm so jealous.
and I'm also super glad that he had his full rest of the season ban reduced just to 2 games. He almost was like, fine, fuck it, I'll take a vacation and go out and see fight night. So, I mean, that's a great attitude about it. But I just didn't want to look. I don't live there. You know what I mean? The next time I come to a West Ham game, nobody's going to be like holding my picture with security going, that's the fucking guy that blah, 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 blah. But you like take tours and stuff in there. So I didn't want to like cause you any trouble about that whole thing. So
no. I mean, I sort of think at the minute, no one has anything to hide. No one's doing anything illegal.
Okay.
The whole Cameron Robson thing was like an absolute joke. The fact that he got the ban in the first place. I think the reason they gave was for inciting the fans,
he incited the fans.
Yeah, I'm not sure anyone gave any sort of reaction to it other than an applaud and a cheer.
Right.
So like really incited. So I think it'll be quite interesting to see what they do on Saturday, because I imagine there's going to be a fair few thousand of those shirts in the stadium.
Sure.
To the point of, I've already thought like perhaps I won't sit or stand where my actual seat is, just so they can't track it, to check the seat number. But, I think with the number of shirts and banners and stickers that are going to be on show, it'll be interesting to see. I'm going to go grab the stickers because, I want people to see them. Obviously, we're not going to take them into the stadium on Saturday, because that would be vandalism, and we don't condone that at all.
Right.
Honest. But yeah, I'm gonna go grab them.
All right.
They're huge. He sent me a picture of them. Like I thought they were going to be like, because the very first GSB out things that they made that were coasters were like 4.5 by 4.5. These things that they made are like 10 inches huge. Like he sent me a picture of them. Oh my God.
So these are the lovely, rather large tile stickers that Kevin designed. I don't know how clear you can see that. I'm really struggling with my left and right.
No, oh no, we can see them.
But we have 1,300 of these, which will be coming with us on the protest Saturday.
And he's going to send some to us.
Nice. Yeah, there'll be some coming back your way.
Yeah,
and
your work's going to be all over London. You're like a regular Banksy.
Banksy.
But yeah, they'll be out. I'll send you some pictures of where they get slapped up.
That's great. That walk between Carpenters and the stadium needs some dirtying up.
It definitely does. There was talk of trying to do something in the tunnel between the Carpenters and the stadium.
Right.
Obviously, I won't be saying what because that is my face saying it. But yeah, we'll see what happens on Saturday.
It's kind of surprising. Speaking of that walk between Carpenters and the stadium, I've been to London Stadium a handful of times. That was the first and only time for a game. And I've always just come past the Aquatic Center through like the main bridge.
Yeah.
That walk there that day, because of the experiences I'd had going to Upton Park, I was just like, I want to buy a new scarf. I want to get, a new T-shirt, a new Overland and Sea magazine. There was nothing. Nothing. No food vendors.
No, you've been over this, yeah.
There nothing football oriented on that walk at all. I mean, for people that had never got to go to the old place and got to feel like the life that was going down up and down Green Street, I think that they have just fucked it up. Just basically like the way that it's kind of just soulless when I see people that are traditionalists like yourself and they talk about that the experience is soulless. I totally get it because it's just missing. You know what I mean?
It's a shame because there's so many huge spaces there. Like the walk past the Aquatic Centre, like there's so much potential for what could be done there.
Right.
And whether that's like the club or the Newham Council that just don't want to, that they don't want to claret and blue it up. It's sterile, it's neutral, it can be used for all occasions as it is. It's a shame because like those, the walk from the Carpenters to the stadium, like there's some new, some new student housing or something going up.
Sure.
Along that way, like. Imagine living on that walk on a Saturday afternoon after we've just lost to Tottenham. But yeah, it seems to be going further away from football than closer at the minute, and that's really frustrating to see.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I hope that whatever interactions you guys can inspire with the board, staying or not, you guys can help to get some of those things changed, because if they don't, like the traditions of that place are just going to just die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's enough people that remember the way that it used to be that if you started bringing those things back, I think it would be seen as a big positive thing. I always thought that they should have just taken like every small business up and down Green Street and Embarking Road and just basically giving people stalls up and down the walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It would have been so easy to do, or like it seemed it would have been so easy to do.
Sure.
But
we'll see.
Hey, thanks, Karen.
So let's talk about football for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. So yesterday was fucking amazing.
First 70 odd minutes.
Right. Right. Well, I mean,
yeah, it was such a huge improvement.
Marc was flying back from LA. He got to see the Fornals goal.
Yeah, I literally stepped off the plane as he scored. So I
nice.
managed to see that.
Were you watching it in an airport bar? Okay.
No, like I went over, like I crossed the bar, like through the terminal to try to get to my bag.
Gotcha.
I see like, what the fuck? West Ham has a lead against Liverpool?
Yeah, it was weird.
And so like, I'm like trying to like frantically like get my bag, get back to my car, like try to like catch the end of this game. And then like, you just like frantically, like obsessively check your phone, be like, nothing's happening. Like, it's just like foul city. It's yellow card city. I'm like, oh God, these guys are going to like not hang on at the end again.
So where do you think that this effort came from? Because like especially the last game, it just was not there.
Yeah, the City game was an embarrassment.
Oh Jesus! What a waste of time.
And what I mean, I find it so frustrating that if you looked at those two fixtures, if you could pick one team to turn up like we did last night against, it wouldn't have been Liverpool that you picked. Like City have been fragile recently. They've conceded goals. They look suspect when you get at them.
Sure.
I just find it bizarre that that was the way we played against one and not the other, and it was that way round. But I think last night came from the huge negative reaction that the City game got. Like, to go 90 minutes without a shot on target is shocking in any game. And I think then you look at Liverpool and it was just a complete free hit. I think Moyes literally had nothing to lose yesterday. He could have gone out and attacked, and if we had lost 5-0, he gets to come out and say, like, that's why we didn't do it against City. And in the end, it's come out and it's worked really well for him. And he comes out looking a winner. The huge question is how he chooses to play Saturday. You play like we did last night. You turn up like that. You put that sort of effort in and create chances. Then you'd like to think we can take all 3 points against a very good Southampton team in very good form. But yeah, you turn up and you set up not to lose, then you fucked it basically.
Right. Yeah. So that's it, but that's always the criticism of David Moyes anyway, in general. Like, he just is a defensive-minded guy. Like, he wants to park the bus. I mean, even for this game, I didn't see the lineup like the way that they actually had. I mean, I saw the lineup as a list, but I didn't actually see the positions. But one of the announcers said something like, were they really playing 6 at the back last night? I didn't see it that way. Maybe I mean,
no, I didn't see it that way. I mean, maybe at times we were.
I mean, I should preface all of this talk right here by saying that every single time that we start a show, when we get into this part of it, we just say, we are not soccer experts. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't go coach a soccer team. You know what I mean? I'm in love with this team and I'm in love with the culture. But when it comes right down to it, I can barely play FIFA. So,
no, me neither, man.
So, I mean, I don't know. I was just, one thing that I can see and anybody can see is effort. And during the City game, there was no effort.
None of it. Yeah.
And last night, and when you and I were texting back and forth with each other, even at the half, I'm like, fuck, I'll take that half all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the only thing that I thought was that Anderson didn't look like he was himself quite. And you said something about you thought he looked nervous.
Yeah, he's just, my theory of Anderson, he's so hot and cold, like, and he's such a confidence player. Like, you see him have these hot streaks of like 3-4 games where he plays fantastically.
Right.
And then I think last night was his first game in 4 or 5 weeks.
Sure. Since he hurt his back.
Yeah. But I mean, the one thing I would say about him last night is on the ball, he wasn't particularly good, but off the ball, I thought his tracking back and defending was so much better than what we've seen from him in the past.
Yep.
There was plenty of times he was like making like interceptions and clearing the ball away, which was really helping out Creswell. Which was a huge improvement from previous defensive performances we've seen from him.
For sure.
I'm still a little worried about Haller. The fact that he came in and kind of did nothing.
But that's most games for him now. I mean, you don't want to write people off, but I mean, he doesn't do enough.
Right.
Personally, I feel that Haller has become our sort of new scapegoat.
Oh yeah. You were hoping for a vast.
I feel kind of sorry
when he's the new one.
We don't really play to his strengths. We expect him to come in and do what Arnautovic does, like chase everything down. And
he's not a powerful guy.
Yeah, that's not his game. So he's kind of fighting a losing battle. I mean, he's not doing himself any favors. Don't get me wrong. I'm not.
No. I think everyone really recognizes his plight.
Yeah. Apart from West Ham. What I want to say, I was gutted about our Souček last night. I think he's been like a huge improvement on the team.
Yeah.
I think that there was something against like a stat against Man City that he covered like the most distance out of any West Ham player in like 7 seasons. Or
8 miles.
Yeah, ridiculous.
8+ mile, like the most since like 2004 or something like that.
It's good to see somebody run. Yeah.
And then like I think someone said he's never missed a game through injury in his career or something ridiculous. And within 3 weeks.
Welcome to West Ham. So let me ask you this real quick before we get into kind of, we always like try to make some half-hearted prediction for the game coming up, but so you've been at games where we were in good shape, and you've been at games where we were just, eating a shit sandwich.
Yeah.
So
more of those.
Right. Well, that's just because there are more of those. But in any case, how do you feel like the team reacts when they already know that the fans are going to be handing it like for this, like for like the Burnley game and stuff like that? Like, when they already know that the fans are going to be handing it to the board. Like, it seemed, first of all, they showed the turnout like before kickoff for the Liverpool game. They showed that on television here. They showed all the black balloons. They featured all the flags that were out there. You know what I mean? And that was pretty cool. It was a huge away section there. And then the fact that the team came out and played as well as they did, you know what I mean? Like, is that because in any way you feel like they're drawing on the inspiration of the passion of the fans in a positive way?
You'd like to hope so, wouldn't you? Like, when you've got put like Mark Noble in there and such, like you'd like to hope that he fully understands the frustrations and then that he can put that across to the players.
Right.
And you'd like to hope then that Saturday's going to be tense. Like I am nervous already. And I think that if we don't start well, and don't start 110% sprints, couple of tackles in early, I think the atmosphere will die very quickly. And I'd certainly like to think that players feed off the reaction and feed off the fans. So, but it works both ways, doesn't it? Like, if there's nothing to feed off of, it becomes very hard and very negative very quickly.
Right.
But I like to think that the fans have a big impact. I really do. I don't know whether that's perhaps naive of me. Someone's just woke up next to me.
By the way, since we actually started the broadcast, we haven't actually got to see Milo, and so the audience would probably love to see the yipper. I want to see Milo. Where is he? Here he comes! Hey! He could give Forever Boleyn Sparko a run for his money any day.
Yeah, mate. So we had him for like a year yesterday, and the first picture I put up on Instagram was him wearing his farewell Boleyn scarf that he's got.
Oh, it's awesome!
Yeah.
Have you seen Forever Boleyn's? He has a dog that's similar, named Barco.
Yes, I have. Yeah, yeah. My favourite one's the one they have. Is it Bubbles the boxer or Bulldog? What the Bulldog? Yeah. Amazing. Yeah.
Got to make him part of your page. Look at how cute he is. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
So let's get to predictions for Saturday. Other than the fact that you're nervous that the atmosphere could go south kind of quickly.
Yeah. So result predictions. I am at the minute. I'm very positive. Purely because I feel like we have to win. I think anything less than 3 points, and I just don't know mathematically how we'll survive. We would purely be relying on other teams.
Yep.
With that in mind, and the way we played last night, I think without Souček, I assume he'll either start Bowen or Fornals, which instantly gives us more of an attacking threat. I'll go. I want to say 3-1, but I feel like that's far too confident. So we'll go for a nervy 2-1 win.
A nervy 2-1.
Antonio and Bowen to score.
Okay. What do you think, Mark?
I was feeling 2-1. I was like legit thinking about 2-1, and then I stopped myself, and I'm just like, I still don't know if they can pull it out. I'm going with 1-1.
Oh, 1-1 draw.
Not what I want to say the result will be, but
more realist than I am.
Yeah, I got to go with the head over the heart.
He usually is more of a realist, and I'll stick with my usual MO, and I'm going to go with 3-1. I'm going to go with 3-1. Antonio, Anderson, and Anderson.
Ooh.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
So
it'd be great.
Real quick, one more. Since we've been tracking this since mid-January, where do you think West Ham will end in the table come May?
I think, like I say, if we don't win on Saturday, I think 18th, anywhere between 18th or 19th. If we can get the 3 points Saturday, then I think we will stay up. It all comes down to those last 3 home games. I think our last 3 home games are Burnley, Watford, and then Villa.
Right.
So there's 9 points available there for me, which have to be taken. However, I think if you don't take the 3 points this Saturday, I'm not sure we pick up enough points elsewhere that even if we get those 9, it'll be enough. So it's all on Saturday for me. I think it's the biggest game of the season for us.
Slow and steady, 17th.
Yeah.
Been saying it every
You've
single
been sticking
time.
at 17th the whole time.
Sticking at 17th.
And I think I've been like sticking around 14.
I think you might want to modify that one a little bit, bud.
After, well, I don't know. Like after the performance from last night, like I'm feeling it. I'm still feeling that 14, 15 spot.
Still 0 points, but yeah.
It's very close. It's very close down there, isn't it? I think Southampton might be 12th, and I think they're only 6 or 7 points above us. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be nervy.
I think it's gonna go down to the last game against Villa.
Oh God, yeah.
And thankfully, I'm in Vegas for it. So,
at least it'll be exciting.
Buckle up.
Vegas relegation party.
Yeah. All right. Well, Tom, thank you so much for taking. I realize it's super late there. I mean, it's
it's like 10 to 1.
Yeah, 10 to 1. So, why don't you go hit the hay and tell your lady thanks for letting you stay up.
I will, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks to Milo again.
Thanks for coming
out. For everybody out there in podcast land and on American Hammers TV, we are the Columbus E13. Come on, you Irons.
So